Part 41. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 401. Li Chuanlong, who was blow-drying Li Zifeng's hair, almost stopped laughing when he heard the conversation between the two little guys at the side. Li Zifeng glanced at her two childish brothers and sister. She felt that Xiao Wu and Xiao Fei would be beaten sooner or later. Don't look at it, you're at Dad's house now. But the two of them still want to play and don't want to take a shower. Mom will never be lenient. Li Zifeng glanced at Li Chen, who was still cleaning up and had no time to pay attention to him, so he decided to wait and help a bunch of dads. Okay, Li Chuanlong put away the hairdryer and said with a smile. Thank you, Grandpa. Li Zifeng stood up and put away the hairdryer. Then he looked at the two guys rolling on the ground and said, if you don't go take a shower, I'll beat you later. Li Nanfei's movements froze and he said, Xiao Wu washes first. Li Biwu knocked Li Nanfei down and played hard. As for what the second sister and Sangguo said, she simply ignored them. Forget it, I'd better take a shower first. Li Nanfei had a bad feeling in his heart, lest he really get beaten by then. As for the stupid sister, if you get beaten, get beaten. Grandpa, I want to take a shower, Li Nanfei shouted. Let's go, Grandpa will take you there. Li Chuanlong stood up. There are two bathrooms here, which is quite convenient. Seeing Li Nanfei go to take a shower, Li Biwu turned to look at Li Chen, who was cleaning up, and Li Zifeng, who ran over to help clean up, so he picked up his big smart walkie-talkie. Li Biwu rushed to Li Chen and said, Daddy. What's wrong, Xiao Wu? Li Chen was sweating profusely, even with the air conditioner on in the room. Here, Li Biwu, who was sweating all over, handed Li Chen another large band walkie-talkie, and then rushed to the sofa alone. Daddy, Daddy, if you find anything, please answer me, oh wow oh wow. At this moment, Li Biwu was completely having fun. Li Zifeng glanced at the lying stupid sister and shook her head. Li Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry, picked up the telephone and said, received, received. Daddy, you're going to say wow, 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 wow. Li Zifeng. Dad actually wants to play this with his stupid sister? Copy that, over. Li Chen didn't mind. It's normal for children to be playful. It's just that she doesn't want to take a shower, it gives her a headache. While Li Chen was packing his things, he began to sort out the supplies he would use next. Of course, except for the supplies bought for a few children, the rest belonged to Murong Shui. There are a lot of cosmetics, skincare products, lipsticks, etc. Fortunately, the dressing room here is big enough, so it can be stacked. Xiao Feng, please clean up your brother and sister's house, Li Chen said. Okay, Li Zifeng said obediently. Daddy, Daddy, Daodu, kiss me, oh wow oh wow. You know you're not allowed to kiss it? Over. Okay. Daodu, Daddy, don't kiss me, oh wow. Woof woof. Murong Shui, who had already come out of the shower, glanced at Li Biwu, who was still oling. Her eyes were already quite unfriendly. However, she wasn't in a hurry and dried her hair first. Xiao Wu, after playing for a while, you are not allowed to play anymore, do you understand? Daddy, I love you, oh wow, Li Biwu giggled, completely ignoring his own mother's words. Haha, Dad loves you too, over, Li Chen laughed. Listening to the two father and daughter talking about love, the more Murong Shui blew her hair, the more angry she became. Normally, this little fool never said such love words to himself, but he kept talking to Li Chen. Originally, Murong Shui was a little uncomfortable with the urge to take a bath tonight. Now that she saw Li Biwu ignoring her many times, she really couldn't bear it. Among the four children, Li Nanfei and Li Biwu are the most naughty. She knew it too. But now Li Nanfei has gone to take a shower, and apart from Li Chen, who is still cleaning up, only Li Biwu has not taken a shower. Murong Shui put down the hairdryer and took a deep breath. No matter what, this is my own, so I have to endure it. When Murong Shui walked to the living room, she looked at Li Biwu, who was still rolling on the sofa, and said, "Xiao Wu, it's time to take a shower." Li Biwu froze and looked at Murong Shui with sweat all over his body. "Kesu, I've let you play long enough today." Murong Shui tried her best to be calm and said in a gentle tone, "You know? It's getting late now. When your parents go to bed, no one will care about you. You know. Then, can I play some more?" Li Biwu looked at Murong Shui pitifully. Murong Shui took a deep breath and said, "Play for one more minute." Powder room. This lipstick. Li Chen looked at Li Zifeng. "It's not me." Li Zifeng quickly shook her head and said, "I saw Xiao Wu before." Li Chen looked at the lipstick that had been broken off one by one, and then looked at the other ruined cosmetics, and was a little stunned. "Why does it feel like it was painted? Didn't Murong Shui find out before?" Li Nanfei, who happened to come out of the shower, saw the broken lipstick at a glance, and his eyes widened. "What did you do?" I, I, I didn't. It's Xiao Wu." "I swear." Li Nanfei shook his head like a rattle. "He won't take the blame, it's deadly." Seeing this, Li Chen already understood that it was Xiao Wu's fault. So, Li Chen picked up the intercom and whispered, Xiao Wu, please reply if you get it." "He, Dad, Xiao Wu found it?" "Oh wow." Li Biwu immediately picked up the intercom happily. "You broke your mother's lipstick, Dad helped you deal with it?" "Over." Li Biwu picked up the intercom excitedly, looking at Murong Shui, who had a smile on her face just now, but was frosted in an instant. Xiao Wu, come and take it out and throw it away." "Over." Li Biwu was so scared that he quickly threw away the Ling Tong, and looked at Murong Shui, who had stood up with sweat on his face. "Mom," Li Biwu looked at Murong Xiu with pitiful and helpless eyes, slowly slid down the sofa, and said, I'll take a shower right away." Murong Xiu heard it clearly, and felt that her chest was about to explode. Lipstick, all broken. She hasn't put on makeup recently, and she doesn't think it's necessary. If Li Chen hadn't planned to cover up this little idiot just now, she wouldn't know it. Li Biwu wanted to run away, but she didn't even look at who her opponent was. Murong Xiu immediately grabbed Li Biwu's collar and twisted it directly. Ao. Daodu stood up and wanted to save the little master, but when he saw Murong Xiu's cold eyes, he immediately howled a few times and shrank into the doghouse with his tail between his legs. Forget it, I can't afford to offend you, little master, you can only wish you good luck. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 402. Dressing Room. Li Chen paused slightly and asked in confusion, "I seemed to hear Xiao Wu's cry just now. Is it my illusion?" "Maybe. Is it really your illusion?" Li Zifeng shook her head. Even if Xiao Wu was beaten, she would not feel strange. "Really? Then let's continue to clean up the things." The father and daughter couldn't help but feel a headache facing the things piled up in the utility room. Living room. Snap. 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 Ah. Li Biwu covered her butt and made a miserable cry. Daddy, great-grandfather. At this moment, she could only think of these two elders. Unfortunately, Li Chen did not show up. As for Li Chuanlong, he was holding Li Nanfei and did not dare to come over for a while. Even Daodu, who usually protected Xiao Wu, was shivering in the corner at this moment. Woo. Li Biwu felt that her butt was blooming this time. Mommy is a bad guy? Murong Shui had a stern face. Although she felt distressed, she still hit him hard. This beating was inevitable. Otherwise, with Murong Shui's temper, this matter could probably be covered up. She was already tired today, and it took her 2 hours to coax her to take a bath after coming back. In addition, all the lipsticks were ruined, and the loss was not a few thousand or tens of thousands, but hundreds of thousands or even millions. The goods she used were naturally not ordinary cheap goods. More importantly, Xiao Wu has become more and more naughty recently. Maybe it was because of her father's support and her great-grandfather's pampering that made her unscrupulous. Li Biwu struggled hard, and her big tears fell. Mom. Looking at Li Biwu's miserable appearance, Murong Shui couldn't bring herself to do it again. Was it wrong? Murong Shui asked coldly, and found an excuse to stop. As long as Xiao Wu is willing to admit her mistakes and correct them, she won't hit her. Li Biwu's eyes were slightly red, and her pink little face was also covered with tear marks. Her chubby little lips were still stained with tears. She looked distressed. It was poked. What's wrong? Murong Shui was very relieved. It was good that the little girl knew she was wrong. Poke, poke. Li Biwu twitched, and Li Chuanlong and Li Nanfei, who were standing by, felt a little distressed and anxious for her. You should tell me where you were wrong. Hiccup. Murong Shui. Li Chuanlong. Li Nanfei held his forehead with one hand, and couldn't help turning around and not looking at it anymore. This stupid sister is hopeless. Li Biwu looked at Murong Xiu pitifully and aggrievedly, and said in a soft and tender voice, Mom, Xiao will be good in the future and will never dare to do it again. When she saw that Murong Xiu was motionless, she arched her little body and said, Xiao will be very good in the future, Mom, please don't be angry, okay. Looking at this little girl who could melt her heart, Murong Xiu's anger disappeared unconsciously. I can't take care of this little girl anymore, so I'd better leave it to Li Chen. Although I know that Li Chen is unlikely to punish this little girl, Murong Xiu feels that she can punish Li Chen. Li Nanfei, go call your dad over. Murong Xiu looked at Li Nanfei who was watching the fun. Li Nanfei immediately ran away. His mother was inclined to divert her anger at the moment, so he should not touch the minefield. Dressing room. Dad. The dusty Li Chen looked at Li Nanfei and said, What's wrong? Xiao Wu was beaten, Mom is looking for you, Li Nanfei urged, hurry up. Xiao Wu was beaten. Xiao Feng, were you happy just now? Li Zifeng immediately restrained her smile and said seriously, I'm not, don't talk nonsense. Li Chen gently tapped Li Zifeng's head, then clapped his hands and followed Li Nanfei to the living room. Seeing that his grandfather was there, Li Chen knew that this matter might really annoy Murong Shui. Just when Murong Shui was about to speak, Li Chen stepped forward first. Oh, who pissed off my wife? Who is it? Li Biwu. Is it you? Li Chen picked up Li Biwu and poked her big face and said, Li Biwu, you are wrong to do this, do you know? Murong Shui looked at Li Chen with suspicion. I told you to take a shower before. Your mother must be so tired. You are still torturing her like this. You are her most beloved little baby. If you make her so angry, what will she do if she doesn't want you in the future? Li Biwu shivered with fear. I. You are wrong, right? Li Biwu nodded her head in confusion. Admitting your mistakes is a good thing, Li Chen affirmed, you like your mother too, right? Yeah. A beauty like your mother will age 10 years every time she gets angry. Do you want your mother to become an old woman? Xiao, don't, Li Biwu screamed, I don't want it. Mommy won't get old, Mommy won't get old. Li Biwu burst into tears immediately, opened her arms and rushed to Murong Xiu, whose heart was trembling. This little girl covered Murong Xiu tightly, crying and saying, Mommy, it's Xiao's fault. Mommy, don't become an old woman, okay? Murong Shui, who had been knocked unconscious by Li Chen's punch, could still think about this. The little girl's crying and frightened tone was the key to making her heart melt. At this moment, where does Murong Shue still have her temper? Her maternal instinct was fully aroused, and she hugged the crying Xiao Wu and began to comfort her. Blame. Scold. Not at all. Li Nanfei, who was standing aside, looked at the scene in shock, and then gave his father a thumbs up. Awesome. Ouch. Daodu also huddled in the corner and shouted to Li Chen. As if to praise and say, Master, you are so awesome. Li Chen smiled faintly, showing the lonely demeanor of a master. Li Chuanlong breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that the war was finally over. Xiao Fei, let's go to bed. Okay. Li Nanfei pulled Grandpa away. Avoid getting burned by the flames of war. Although the matter was resolved tactfully by his father, Li Nanfei knew that his mother might not beat Xiao Wu. But whether he will beat his father or not is up for debate. Xiao Feng, let's continue cleaning the dressing room and go to bed later. Good. Murong Shui hugged the tired Li Biwu and said, shall we go take a shower? Yeah, Li Biwu said with his face pressed against Murong Shui's cheek at this moment. Mom, don't leave Xiao, okay? Good. Well, then Mom, don't grow old, okay? Okay. Murong Shui stood up and led Li Biwu towards the bathroom. Then, Mom will still love Xiao Wu, right? Right. Bo. Hey, you didn't brush your teeth and you still have saliva. Mom just washed her face. Giggle, boo. No more kissing. Boom. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 403. Mom. Li Biwu, lying on the bed, looked at Murong Xiu with burning eyes and said, good night. Good night. Murong Xiu kissed Li Biwu, and then said to Li Zifeng, take care of your sister. Yeah. Li Zifeng nodded, and then dragged Li Biwu to the pillow. Seeing this, Murong Xiu sighed heavily. No one is worry-free. She still hopes that Li Zifeng will be gentle, but, I'm afraid this will be the end of her life. After leaving the room, Murong Xiu turned off the lights outside and saw Li Chen blowing his hair in the room. Are you all asleep? Li Chen turned his head and asked. Yeah. Murong Xiu fell on the bed with a trace of fatigue. Fortunately, there is only one little guy, Li Biwu, who needs careful care. If there is another one, she will probably be depressed. Thinking of Li Biwu's mischief, she thought of Li Donglong who took Li Biwu with him. At that time, Li Donglong was still a child. He actually made Xiao Wu obedient, which was enough to show how outstanding Li Donglong was. Thinking of this, Murong Shui felt even more guilty. I don't know how long it will take to bring Xiao Long back. Did he find out? Will he be in danger? Even though she knew that her eldest son was much more outstanding than she imagined, she still couldn't help but worry. After Li Chen finished blowing her hair, he saw that Murong Shui was in a bad mood, so he came over and hugged Murong Shui gently and said, Xiao Wu is still young. Now we are all here, she can finally do it early with confidence. This is a good thing. Although Li Biwu was young before, her living environment was depressing. Moreover, she was brought up by Li Donglong, and her grandfather didn't like her. Even if she was young, she could actually feel it. Therefore, Li Biwu at that time, although she didn't understand, still subconsciously suppressed her nature. But it's different now. She has a mother who loves her, a father, and a doting great-grandfather. Even Xiao Feng and Xiao protected her. In such a healthy environment, Li Biwu's heart is completely open. Isn't she a naughty baby? Murong Xiu looked at Li Chen and said, I'm not worried about Xiao, but Xiao Long. Hearing this, Li Chen was silent and said, then let's call him. Murong Xiu wanted to call, but she was worried that Li Donglong was being monitored. Once she couldn't help it, or let it slip, it would be a big trouble for Li Donglong. No more calls. Murongxiu shook her head slightly, her eyes slightly red. Seeing this, Li Chen said with a little distress, "Don't worry, I have arrangements. I will find out everything here as soon as possible, and solve it by the way. Then I will pick him up in person, okay?" Murongxiu looked at Li Chen steadily and said, "Really? When have I ever lied to you?" Li Chen pinched Murongxiu's nose and said. Murongxue also hugged Li Chen tightly, and under the influence of Li Chen's internal force, she slowly fell into a deep sleep. Li Chen leaned against the head of the bed and did not go to sleep immediately. As a father, he was not that worried. On the contrary, he believed in Li Donglong very much. But Murongxue was different. She was a mother, and sometimes she was more emotional than rational. Taking out his mobile phone, Li Chen thought about it and sent a message to Li Donglong. "Son, are you asleep?" Just after Li Chen sent the message, he replied almost immediately. "Not yet. Are you okay? Your mom is worried about you." "It's okay. Dad, I think there's something strange about Grandpa and Grandma's death." Seeing this message, Li Chen sat up straight immediately. "Tell me about it." "We used to study traditional Chinese medicine, and we specialized in cultivating rare and precious medicinal materials, right? It can even be said that we have studied it to the extreme." "Yes. You said that before you were not in charge. Grandpa and Grandma were actually studying a secret experiment, and not many people knew about it, right?" "Yes. Now the news I have heard is that the Li family's laboratory was taken away by others, but when Grandpa and Grandma were plotted against, they turned to you and great-grandfather, which is unreasonable." "What's unreasonable?" Li Chen asked. "If they were targeting the Li family's technology and the secret experiment, then after dealing with Grandpa and Grandma, the matter should have ended here, but why did they attack you and great-grandfather?" Li Chen fell into deep thought. "This is the first one. Second, it concerns the four of us. I found some new clues. The birth of the four of us was not an accident." Looking at the message sent by Li Donglong, Li Chen replied, "I asked your mother, and your mother said this at the time. In the end, it became like this." After the message was sent, Li Donglong was silent for a long time. "In other words, someone deliberately arranged this. Although I don't have any clues to prove that these things are together, I have a hunch that they are all inevitably related," Li Donglong said. "In fact, you and I have guessed it, right?" Li Chen sneered and sent it. There was another silence on Li Donglong's side. "Grandpa did that, why on earth?" "I don't know," Li Chen said, "I'm investigating who took me there. My memory of this period is blank. I'm sure someone must have tampered with me." Seeing the message sent by Li Chen, Li Donglong fell silent again. Just when Li Chen thought he was in trouble, Li Donglong sent another message. "Dad, there is something I just found out, I don't know how to say it. Tell me everything, it's crucial for the reunion of you and me." Li Chen immediately said, "Your grandpa is not a good person. Although I don't know what he is planning, I think it may not just be the Murong family behind this." Obviously, Li Donglong found out much more than what he found out here. In fact, many clues have been connected, but there is no key evidence. Maybe there will be unexpected gains recently. But we still have to wait. Li Donglong replied, "According to the latest information I found, you may be dead." When Li Chen saw this message, he was stunned. "I'm dead? Then what's wrong with me now? I'm a zombie?" Both sides fell into silence. Obviously, this news was too shocking to each other. "No, you said I might be dead? In other words, the blank period of my memory before was caused by my accident?" Li Chen suddenly woke up and asked. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 404. For the time being, it seems that it should be Li Donglong was not sure. This matter is very confusing. And after further investigation, I found that there were many things involved. Even my grandfather was involved in this matter, and he felt uncomfortable mentally. But Li Donglong knew better that if his grandfather had started planning more than 10 years ago, then his plans must be quite big. However, Li Donglong couldn't figure out what was there in the Li family that his grandfather could plot. Back then, the Li family was only second to none in Chengdu. If you put it in the capital, it would really mean nothing. Even in the field of traditional Chinese medicine, there has been little success. Li Chen's doubts also come from this, but he knows better than Li Donglong. Perhaps his own system is the key. But it still doesn't make sense. If he died once before, then who did it? You killed yourself, and you want to kill Grandpa. Does Grandpa know that he died once? Xiaolong, everything must be based on your own safety before investigating, do you understand? No. Okay, go to bed early tonight. I'm also keeping pace with the progress here and will arrange a way out for you. I suspect that your grandfather, an old fox, may have guessed your intention to stay. No wonder Li Chen is so cautious, because judging from the existing clues. If these are true, then Murong Hung's planning ability is too strong. This kind of mature old fox must be able to deduce something. Li Chen now even began to suspect that his trip to the capital, including bringing Murong Shui back, was all part of this guy's plan. If that were the case, Murong Hung's would be too terrifying. Because in this way, many problems are actually explained. For example, why Xiao Wu was lost in the first place. You must know that it was the territory of the Murong family. Apart from the Murong family, who has this ability? Too high to look down on the Murong family, too low to reach. After thinking about it, only the Murong family can do it. If the layout more than 10 years ago was controlled by Murong Hung's, then Murong Shui's pregnancy became inevitable. Since Murong Shui knew that it was her own flesh and blood, would Murong Hung's, who had planned the whole process, know? In this way, am I, an outsider, still in the game 10 years later, no matter how things change? If he knew about Murong Shui's existence, he would naturally go to the capital. But if he didn't know, then Xiao Wu's appearance could be another clue. After all assumptions are eliminated, the most improbable one left is often the truth. Later, Murong Hung secretly fueled the situation. The Ye family and the Yuan family rose up, and he was disrupting the situation. However, he suddenly stayed out of the matter and returned again, using his appearance to wipe out the entire Murong family. To the outside world, he was forced to do it. But what about the reality? He didn't do this alone. Thinking of this, Li Chen's thoughts gradually became clear. It just depends on whether the Chengdu side can find out something, such as who took him there in the first place. Of course, it's also possible that the person is dead. But as long as you check, you will definitely be able to find something. Even if the person disappears out of thin air, there will still be residue. In addition, I have to ask Grandpa tomorrow for some details about this matter. He always thought that he was fine and that his grandfather was the ultimate victim. Now that I think about it, maybe there was a deviation in the process. I should have died first and then lived, but my grandpa was poisoned and almost died. The person who poisoned Grandpa must be a close relative. At the beginning, there were only two people left with the Li family's grandfather and grandson. It's not difficult to check. Li Chen slowly put down his phone and stopped thinking about this matter. One night passed. Li Chuanlong is always the first to wake up. With his temperament, he must not be able to sit still. After getting up early, he bought a bunch of things downstairs and planned to make breakfast himself. Fortunately, at this time, Li Chen had already woken up first. "Grandpa, let's just go and eat." "Why are you cooking?" How expensive is a meal? Li Chuanlong said, it's not like we can't make it ourselves. Okay, okay, there will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Don't do it today. Let me ask you something. Li Chen stopped Li Chuanlong and said. What's going on? Did I die once before? Snap. The spatula in Li Chuanlong's hand suddenly fell on the stove. Seeing Li Chuanlong's reaction, Li Chen already knew it. Sure enough, the results of Xiaolong's investigation were all true. In this way, it becomes clear why I can't remember many of my previous memories. Perhaps, before he died, he should have remembered who took him to donate that thing. But now, the lack of memory has broken his key clues. Grandfather? Ah, Li Chuanlong reacted as if he was frightened. What's the point of hiding it from me? Some things cannot be avoided. Do you think they will let us go if we both die once? Li Chen asked in return. Li Chuanlong opened his lips slightly, not knowing what to say. Li Chen could understand that Li Chuanlong lost his son in old age, and it would be a lie to say that he was not heartbroken. However, he never showed it. After that, he protected himself even more. Grandpa, I have already found some clues about some things, I hope you can tell me. Li Chen said, I must avenge my parents. No matter if it was a crime of possessing a treasure or other reasons. He forced his parents to death, this man deserves to die. Even if it was Murong Hung's in the end, he would never show mercy. Li Chuanlong sighed and said, when I think about this now, I am afraid of it. The two grandfathers and grandsons sat on the sofa, and Li Chuanlong talked about the original things for the first time. On the eve of your accident, your parents were not in trouble. Li Chuanlong's eyes were filled with tears, but it was because of your accident that, your parents compromised. Li Chen had no memory of this. He widened his eyes. Before his accident, his parents were fine? Who did it to him? Don't guess, it was the Du family who attacked you, Li Chuanlong said. Li Chen knew this, the Du family is the leader of the four major families in Rongcheng today. It is also one of the culprits who forced my parents to death, and now it is still encroaching on the property left by the Li family. But, the Du family is just following the instructions of others. Li Chuanlong sighed. So am I dead or not? Dead, not dead. Ah, Li Chen was stunned, isn't this the same as not saying anything? At that time, all your vital signs disappeared. Logically, you are really dead, Li Chuanlong said, but the strange thing is that 3 days later, you are alive again. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 405. Li Chen understood. It was precisely because of his death and resurrection that Li Hoxian was afraid of him. So, in the end, Li Hoxian should have compromised, or been forced to death. What happened next? You know what happened next. The four major families forced our Li family to death, and I was poisoned. Let's escape back to this small mountain village, Li Chuanlong sighed. Grandpa, do you know who poisoned you? Li Chen asked. Li Chuanlong was bitter and didn't say anything, but Li Chen knew that Grandpa should know it in his heart. Why were they so anxious to kill us before, but now, they are starting to hold back? Li Chen asked, is there something in our Li family that they covet? Our Li family's cultivation technology and methods are indeed worth coveting, but they won't let them want to wipe out our family. Grandpa, do you know? Li Chen looked at Li Chuanlong with burning eyes, staring at him. For some reason, he always felt that his grandfather seemed to be hiding something. And this matter is the key to life. Hearing this, Li Chuanlong also looked at Li Chen. He didn't expect that this grandson's growth was so amazing. Did you find out something? I said, I have never forgotten this matter. Li Chen said, I remember you once said that our Li family was divided into two branches before. One stayed here, and the other, was a wealthy noble, right? Li Chuanlong smiled bitterly, what's wrong? What about the wealthy noble one? Gone. Gone, Li Chen was surprised. It was more than 100 years ago. No family can prosper forever. No one is an exception, Li Chuanlong reminded, even if it is the Xianyuan family, Situ family, and Dongfang family now, who dares to say that they will still be as glorious as they are today after 100 years. Li Chen nodded, that's true. Our Li family was a prominent family in the past, but it has little to do with the current situation. If there is any, it is that there have always been people saying that the ancestor of the Li family left behind an extraordinary inheritance, which has a resurrecting effect on our Li family. Li Chuanlong said, Grandpa will not lie to you, but, Grandpa really doesn't know what this inheritance is. Maybe, your father knows. Huh? Why does my father know, but you don't know? Li Chuanlong glared at Li Chen and said, your father is smart. After taking him out, he did a lot of things, and I don't know. I suspect, he should have been found by the Li family branch in the capital for more than 100 years. He sighed again. Li Chen's eyes flickered slightly, and things gradually became clear. Grandpa. Hearing the voice in the house, Li Chuanlong immediately got up and went to the room. The little guy Li Biwu actually called Li Chuanlong first after waking up. It turned out that Li Biwu was going to the toilet. Li Chen felt sour in his heart, and now he didn't want his father. After Li Chuanlong carried Li Biwu to the toilet, the little girl went back to sleep. At this time, Li Nanfei had already gotten up and started to wash up. Murong Shui and Li Zifeng followed closely. As for Li Biwu, without breakfast, the little girl probably wouldn't wake up. After everyone had washed up, Li Nanfei immediately ran to Li Biwu's room and whispered in her ear, Xiao Wu, let's go downstairs for breakfast. Li Biwu, who was sleeping soundly, sat up instantly. Although her hair was still fluffy, it didn't stop her from hugging Li Nanfei and smacking her lips. Li Nanfei hugged Li Biwu and gritted his teeth and said, stupid Xiao Wu, have you gained weight again? No, Li Biwu entangled Li Nanfei and shook her head to deny. Xiao Wu didn't gain weight. Hurry up, wash your face. Li Nanfei turned on the cold water, then took out a towel and rubbed Li Biwu, who hadn't opened her eyes yet. Anyway, my dad washed his face like this, so I can follow in his footsteps by washing Xiao Wu's face like this? Ah! Li Biwu couldn't help shouting. When Murong Shui ran over, Li Nanfei had already washed Li Biwu's face. Okay. Li Nanfei clapped his hands and said to Murong Shui, tied hair, not suitable for me. After that, he patted his butt and left. Li Biwu, whose little face was rubbed red, was left standing blankly by the bathroom mirror. Murong Shui looked at Xiao Wu's blank look and couldn't help but want to laugh. As expected, he is your brother, and he is so perfunctory when washing your face. Can boys wash their faces the same as girls? Mom, Li Biwu hugged Murong Xiu and rubbed her, saying, Sangguo, Sangguo hurt Xiao. I didn't, Li Nanfei, who had returned without knowing when, poked his head out of the door and said, hurry up, we won't wait for you. Hearing this, Li Biwu became anxious. She stamped her feet anxiously and urged Murong Xiu to hurry up, otherwise she wouldn't be able to eat. Murong Xiu glared at Li Nanfei and said, get lost, you only know how to bully your sister. She's stupid. Li Nanfei made a face. You're stupid. Sangguo is stupid. Xiao is. Sangguo is stupid, Sangguo is dash. Li Biwu couldn't win the argument, so he started to launch his sonic attack. Murong Xiu felt that her eardrums were about to be broken, so she grabbed Li Nanfei's butt and hit him, go away. Look how angry your sister is. Hee, stupid Xiao. Li Nanfei jumped away. Li Biwu, whose hair was being combed by Murong Xiu, had a bulging belly and pouted at Murong Xiu. Mom, is Xiao Zun stupid? Murong Xiu didn't know whether to laugh or cry, and said, no. Kesu, Kesu Sangwo always complains about my stupidity. Li Biwu lowered her head and pouted her mouth. The little girl's face was full of grievance and loss. After Murongxiu carefully tied her little hair, she held her little face and said, "Our Xiao has always been very smart. Do you know that?" Li Biwu looked up, a little bit unbelievable. "Mom won't lie to you. Right?" "Yeah," Li Biwu nodded heavily, and a bright smile bloomed on her chubby little face again. "If Sangwo nags me again, I'll beat him to death." Li Biwu clenched his little fist and spoke the most fierce words in the softest accent. Murongxiu picked up Li Biwu and walked out of the bathroom. Li Chen had packed everything he needed to bring, and the family had to go back to the village. But before that, they still had to have breakfast. The breakfast in the town was not too much: wonton, dumplings, rice noodles, soy milk, fried dough sticks, and buns, which was basically all. With Li Biwu here, breakfast must be complete. Because this is a girl who likes new things and hates old things. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihamigwa. Chapter 406. Would you like some soy milk? Yes, yes, Li Biwu nodded her little head. What about the steamed buns? Yes, yes, Li Biwu's eyes became curved. So in the end, Li Chen simply ordered all of them. Second sister, Li Biwu's big eyes rolled around, staring at the noodles in Li Zifeng's bowl. Li Zifeng glared at her sister, but still picked up a rice noodle and said, "Open your mouth." Ah! Li Biwu opened her mouth as she was told. When Li Zifeng put it in her mouth, Xiao immediately swallowed it in. While chewing, she twisted her butt excitedly. For her, it was very happy to have something to eat. Who? When she saw Li Nanfei drinking soy milk, Li Biwu ran to Li Nanfei, without saying a word, and stared at Li Nanfei with innocent big eyes. Li Nanfei said disdainfully, "Don't you have it yourself?" Li Biwu looked at Li Nanfei pitifully, then rubbed against him, "Sangwo. You are so handsome." Li Nanfei, who was about to refuse, suddenly showed an embarrassment on his face. "I really admire you, don't tell the truth in the future." Li Zifeng. Murongxiu. When the mother and daughter looked at Li Chen together, Li Chen coughed dryly, "Why are you looking at me? Xiao Fei is narcissistic, not learning from me. This is his natural nature." Li Chen coughed dryly, stared at Li Nanfei and said, "Don't be so ostentatious in the future, understand? Be a low-key person. Am I proud of your dad?" Li Zifeng. Murongxiu. You might as well not say it. Li Nanfei said with a learned expression, "Father, you are right." After that, he smiled and handed his soy milk to Li Biwu, saying, "You can only drink one sip." "Okay," Li Biwu stamped his feet excitedly, and then bit Li Nanfei's straw. Slowly, Li Nanfei's face changed. Snoring. Burp. Li Biwu burped for a long time, and then smiled at Li Nanfei, "Okay." Puff Murongxue and Li Zifeng couldn't help laughing. Li Nanfei looked at the half cup of soy milk with a dull face, and it was completely empty. If it weren't for the fact that this small cup of soy milk was empty, Xiao would not have finished so quickly. Li Biwu. Li Nanfei became manic. "What are you doing? I just told you to be low-key." Li Chen glared at the irritable Li Nanfei and said, "Buy another cup, or drink Xiao's cup too. She hasn't drunk it yet." Li Nanfei angrily threw the soy milk cup into the trash can and said indignantly, "Foodie." Hee hee. Li Biwu was full, so she was naturally not angry. She didn't care what Sangwo said. After eating, they drove back. Li Nanfei didn't want to pay attention to Li Biwu all the way, but Li Biwu liked to get close to him. This made Li Nanfei feel annoyed. Li Chen didn't plan to care about the little fights between the children. When they got home, the construction team had already started. Big Brother and others also came to help early. By the way, Li Chen, you have to help us harvest rice, the second brother Li Feichen said, at the end of the month. Okay, Li Chen smiled and nodded. Grandpa, how long will it take for our rice to be harvested? Almost, it will be at the end of the month, Li Chuanlong said. The end of the month is actually only the end of July. This is still early maturing. If it is late maturing, it will be even later. However, there are usually 2 seasons of rice in the south. After the harvest in July and August, it is not a problem to plant another season of rice. When thinking of rice, Li Chen thought of rice flower fish. The taste of this fish is much better than the fish raised alone in the pond. Li Chen glanced at the 3 little foodies and decided to improve their meals. There are many ponds and rivers here for Xiaoze. When the time comes, catch some crucian carp and so on, feed them with vitality water, and put them in their own rice fields. This is a good choice. Murong Shui is unfamiliar with this, and even the 3 children listened with relish. After Li Junhao, Li Siyi, and Li Xiaoliu, 3 older brothers and sisters, came, Li Zifeng took Li Nanfei and Li Biwu to play. The world of adults has nothing to do with them. Li Chen took the curious Murong Shui and joined the topic. When they learned that Murong Shui had not harvested the rice yet, they were still very surprised. Just like rich people are surprised at the wealth of ordinary people. At noon, after eating, Li Chen pulled Murong Shui aside, took out his mobile phone and said, "Choose it yourself." "What?" Murong Shui was confused. "Xiao Wu broke your lipstick, I will buy you a new one," Li Chen said. Murong Xiu was slightly stunned and said, "I don't want it. Those can still make do, and besides, the family needs money." "It's okay, your husband still has this little money," Li Chen said, "choose quickly." "I don't want it." Murong Xiu took Li Chen's hand and said, "It's enough that you have this intention. By the way, I have to go to the crew with Xiaofei soon." Li Chen knew about this, of course. Murong Xiu had already guessed that Jinxiu Film and Television was Li Chen's company. Moreover, she also knew very well that she could not work forever without making money. Although this is Li Chen's money, he still has to earn it back in the end and then give it to Li Chen. It's not a bad loss either. "Will you go to the company banquet?" "Of course," Li Chen smiled, "otherwise, how can I support my wife?" "That's good." Murong Shui smiled with satisfaction, and then she was dragged to work by several sisters-in-law. Murong Shui likes this kind of life even more because it has the flavor of life. Li Chen looked at Murong Shui with a bright smile on his face, smiled and said, "That's great." Although Murong Shui didn't want it, Li Chen decided to buy it first. Guerlain Rouge G Jewelry Lipstick, this one is good, here are 5 first. The approximate price is $55, which is equivalent to 350 Chinese coins. What's more important is that this lipstick is used by many Hollywood actresses, and it is very suitable. Li Chen continued to choose, including Kilian Rouge Parfum, Tom Ford Gold Lip Color, Clede Po Lipstick, Rouge Hermes Lipstick, Serge Lutens El Toffet Matte and so on. He ordered them all. Of course, Li Chen didn't miss the 2 most expensive models either. Guerlain Kiss Kiss Gold and Diamond Lipstick, which is the second best-selling lipstick in the world. The price of one is as high as $62,000, which is about 394,946.2 Chinese coins. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 407. This lipstick is used by many popular actresses and models. Because its colors are exclusive, it is very precious. Secondly, its box is made of 111 grams of 18-karat gold and 199 grams of sparkling diamonds. In addition, there is embroidery. This is why this one is so expensive. Li Chen also ordered 10 at one time. If Murong Shui doesn't want it anymore, she can give it away directly. There is no better gift than this. Of course, in addition to these models, Li Chen did not miss the Couture Beauty Diamond Lipstick. This is the real ceiling of the lipstick industry. The price is as high as $14 million, which is luxury. This kind of thing is not affordable for ordinary people. It's mainly too expensive. The gorgeous shell is all made of diamonds. In addition, the effect of the lipstick itself is very moisturizing and has a charming shadow. This is a woman's dream. In addition to these, its own service is also very unique, including telephone service, lifelong personal help, etc. In this way, it is reasonable to be expensive. Just one, it costs as much as 89,181,400 Chinese yuan. Li Chen is very satisfied. He can give his wife the best gift and make money for himself. It's worth it. Thinking that this lipstick has 15 colors, Li Chen decisively ordered 15. 10 lipsticks, the lowest is only $50, and the highest is as high as $14 million. Li Chen placed an order at the same time. There are 5 Guerlain Rouge G jewelry lipsticks in total, and he thinks 3 are too few, a total of $250. There are 5 Kilian Le Rouge Parfum lipsticks in total, a total of $275. There are 10 Guerlain Kiss Kiss Gold and Diamond lipsticks in total, a total of $620,000. There are only 10 Couture Beauty Diamond lipsticks in stock, a total of $140 million. Li Chen counted them and spent a lot this time, so he paid directly. A total of 140,622,885, 895,781,839.7385 Chinese currency. Just buying lipsticks cost more than 800 million. Only Li Chen dared to do this. Ding, detecting the host's consumption, 50 times the rebate has been triggered. 44,789,091,986.925 has been credited. Li Chen couldn't help but be overjoyed when he rebate more than 44.7 billion at once. Sure enough, women's money is the easiest to make in this world. Click on the system. Host, Li Chen. Wealth, 56,899,724,498.9. Skills, internal strength release. Medical skills, immortal level. Beast taming, god level. Return points, 1,081,428. Return level, 50 times. 3,764,018,696/10,000,000,000. Currency exchange, 1:20,000. Before paying off Schwer's debt, there were not many assets left. But today's consumption, the total wealth has reached more than 50 billion again. Sure enough, the speed is amazing. Looking at such a high return point, Li Chen was not polite this time, and directly consumed 388,000 to upgrade to the late Grandmaster. From this moment on, Li Chen is a true Grandmaster, with a restrained divine brilliance. Li Chen believes that unless it is a Grandmaster above the Grandmaster, it should not be able to hurt him. Even in the whole world, there should not be too many such existences. After chatting with Li Chuanlong, Li Chen has made the worst plan and mental preparation. Now, it may not be a coincidence that his system is obtained. Maybe the resurrection before was because of the system, but it was activated just by chance when he met Xiao Wu. So, is the system born? Or was it born by chance? Li Chen was not too sure, because from his previous death, his father Li Hoxian seemed to be unaware. But if he didn't know, he would obviously not be able to stand firm. Li Chen shook his head and stopped thinking about it for the time being. At the moment, he could only wait for the results of the investigation slowly. Once confirmed, Li Chen was ready to close the net. As for the 4 major families in Rongcheng, he was just too lazy to clean them up in person. Even the top 2 families seemed to have a family fortune of only more than 70 billion now. In front of Li Chen, they were really not qualified. Ding! At this moment, a notification sound came from Li Chen's mobile phone. Li Chen took it out and saw that it was sent by Shen Yanqing. Mr. Li, everything has been done. Rongcheng has already started to lay out the plan. Li Chen nodded and said, very good. Keep watching the 4 major families. In addition, start to arrange acquisitions, divisions, and suppression. Let's give the 4 major families some appetizers first. Yes. In addition, how are things going with Jinxia Film and Television Group? All arrangements have been completed. The top directors in the country will come. In addition, the top stars, big stars, and medium stars under our contract will also come, but the specific list has not been announced yet. Okay, then you go and make arrangements. At that time and now, we can officially talk about the investment. After this banquet, Jinxia Film and Television will announce the cooperation, with an initial investment of 500 million yuan, and will be supplemented later depending on the situation. Yes. Then you go and get busy. Li Chen put away his mobile phone and continued to work. He would not be stingy with the money he should spend. After fighting with some big families in the capital, Li Chen did not take the 4 big families too seriously. Because he knew very well that even the 4 big families were just pawns. If the people hiding behind did not come out, the 4 big families would just take the blame. But, in the final analysis, the Li family was destroyed because of them. This hatred must be avenged. Li Chen. Hey, here it comes. Now, Li Chen still cares about this big family. If you want to live a more stable life in the future, some things must be solved, otherwise it will be like a thorn in the throat. While Li Chen was quietly preparing, there was naturally a lot of turmoil in Rongcheng. First of all, Li Chen's strength in the open gave the 4 big families great pressure. Li Chen had already shown his swords and guns, and the 4 big families were under great pressure for a while. They all knew the news from the capital. This is the person who dared to fight even the second-tier He family and Mu family in the capital. Now that he has become powerful, how can he let go of the small 4 major families in Rongcheng? What's more terrible is that in addition to these, the branch of the Pan family in Rongcheng is pressing forward step by step. Anyone who wants to continue to cooperate with the Pan family must cut off cooperation with the 4 major families. The 4 major families today are certainly powerful and are in the rising stage. But what family should they compare with? Can this be compared with the Pan family, which earns tens of millions or even hundreds of millions a day? The Pan family wants to deal with you 4 major families, not playing dirty, but playing open conspiracy, and you still can't do anything? They will oppress you to death from the heart. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 408. As for Shen Yanqing, the Haowen KTV below took the lead and launched a fierce offensive recently. Not only that, the open and secret struggles in the business world are common. Everyone knows that this is aimed at the 4 major families, but the 4 major families can't do anything. You say that others are cheating you, but others say that this is business competition. There is no place to reason. At the same time, in terms of medicinal material merchants, Zhao Hualiang united a group of partners and directly bypassed the 4 major families to establish a new cooperative guild. The 4 major families that originally got a share of the Li family can only watch the market being divided up. And the 4 major families can't even drink the soup. Ljia Village. Today's Ljia village is mainly based on medicinal material planting. After all, medicinal materials are really profitable, especially after Zhao Hualiang brought a group of businessmen here to reach a strategic cooperation, the people in the village are even more motivated. However, the richest man in the village is still Li Chen. Li Chen's family doesn't grow much of their own things now, but asks villagers to farm for them. Li Chen has always settled on the same day, which allows the villagers to earn extra income while growing medicinal herbs for him. However, the sale of Yuankai water also made Li Chen's money back. The money earned was used as labor fees for these villagers. It was like Li Chen entered a virtuous circle. Now, Li Chen's family is repairing the house, and many people in the village are envious. Everyone has desires. When they see that Li Chen was originally the poorest and now has become the richest, many people are also excited. Who doesn't want to live a better life? Maybe some people will be jealous, but they dare not show it openly. Unless he doesn't want to live here anymore. Fortunately, most people are honest people and won't have any crooked thoughts. Seeing Li Chen's family building a new house, everyone is holding back a breath, and they also hope to make more money and build a big house or something. Therefore, everyone is very motivated. Director Chen, I heard that you are also going to attend the evening party of Jinxiu Film and Television. Well, after all, it is a big company. It is said that it has strong funds. Moreover, it has signed many top-level people and has many good scripts. Wouldn't the competition be fierce? It is definitely fierce, Director Chen smiled and said, you should work hard. Maybe you can pick a role. Okay, Director Chen, I heard from the grapevine that Murong Shui will also attend this time. Ha ha ha, I don't know about that. If Murong Shui makes a comeback, I think many people will be happy to see her. The female star pouted. Who would be happy to see Murong Shui make a comeback? Isn't it good to stay at home and take care of the children after giving birth? But when she thought about the gathering of celebrities this time, at least 10 cooperation plans would be carried out at the same time, the female star was still quite excited. Everyone also knew that carrying out 10 plans at the same time meant something. It means that the capital of Jinxiu Film and Television is so strong that it is terrible. As we all know, there is a contempt chain in the film and television industry. The film industry despises the TV industry, and the TV industry despises the web drama industry. For ordinary people, if they want to get into the film and television industry, they must have opportunities and connections. Although Jinxiu Film and Television was established not long ago, it cannot resist the strong capital of others. What's more, the big editors and directors in China have signed 1 or 2 films. More importantly, countless good brokerage teams, including some top-tier and middle-tier big stars, have been invited. Either play an important role or a supporting role. This is a feast. In fact, this time, except for the highest invested script, the rest will definitely not intervene. The editor has a lot of say, followed by the director. You know, in today's entertainment industry, the capital has a higher say than the director and the editor. Sometimes the editor has no say. Jinxiu Film and Television has already said that only a good script can make a good story, and the editor knows better than the director whether the actor is suitable. Therefore, in the projects of Jinxiu Film and Television, the editor has a very high say. This is rare in China. But if it is abroad, in Hollywood, etc., it is very common. Casting is often decided only after the editor's approval, and this will also keep the role and the actor in the best fit. Of course, these are not important. What is important is that Jinxiu Film and Television is generous and open. Because they expect to invest at least 80 million yuan and up to 500 million yuan. And it is a single project. A movie that spends so much money may not be able to make a profit. And Jinxiu Film and Television dares to do this, which can only be said to be generous. Who doesn't want to come? For a time, some trends surged in the entertainment industry. At this time, Murong Shui was like an outsider. One is because her mentality is indeed very good, and the other is because she knows very well that with her strength, she is still qualified to compete with the top stream today. Of course, the most important thing is that she is still the boss lady of Qingxia film and television. Murong Shui has already adjusted her mentality. Since Li Chen said that this is his second gift to her, she will not refuse it. Murong Shui will also make arrangements for how to manage and take care of the company in the future. However, when she is with her family, she hopes to spend more time with them without being distracted. Li Chen was still cleaning the house. A new house should look like a new one, so Li Chen didn't ask anyone to come and clean it. He did everything by himself. Now, Li Chen only had the living room left to clean. Li Biwu, Li Zifeng, and Li Nanfei all huddled beside Murong Shui. "Dad, let me help you." Li Zifeng stood up. You sit down, Li Chen waved his hand. "Dad will be able to do it soon." Li Biwu, wearing a little dinosaur costume, quietly crawled to Murong Shui's side, his eyes turned around, and finally reached out for the remote control. Snap! Just when Li Biwu was about to take the remote control, Murong Shui grabbed the remote control and said, "What?" "I." Li Biwu took a breath and said, Just touch it." Murong Shui didn't believe it and said, "Go play somewhere else." "Mom, just let me watch it again," Li Biwu begged. "We agreed to watch Bal Qiang for only 1 hour a day." "You've already finished it." Murong Shui shook her head. Li Zifeng and Li Nanfei both covered their mouths and laughed. They just didn't like Baldi Jiang. The key point was that Xiao Wu became particularly nagging when she saw Baldi Jiang. Li Biwu sighed, shrank into the corner, and stared at Daodu. Daodu. Li Biwu glanced at Murong Xiu and said with a smile, "Go and help me steal it." Daodu's eyes widened, and then shook his head. "Little master, don't tease me, I will be kicked out by the mistress. I can't do this job." Li Biwu grabbed Daodu's 2 ears angrily and said, "You can do it." Daodu kicked his 4 legs and lay in Li Biwu's arms pretending to be dead. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 409. Seeing that Daodu was very unfaithful, Xiao rubbed Daodu's cheeks. Daodu was lying comfortably, not anxious at all. Anyway, it didn't hurt at all when the little master rubbed her. It was quite comfortable. Li Zifeng and Li Nanfei couldn't help but smile when they caught a glimpse of this scene. Xiao Wu can't be arrogant in front of her mother, otherwise no one in this family can cure her. Daodu. Li Biwu used his 2 chubby hands to open Daodu's eyes and hummed, "Why are you so timid?" Daodu remained silent. "I am a real dog, but little master, you are really not a human. Did you forget that the mistress spanked you last night?" Daodu doesn't want to be beaten. As a smart dog, Daodu felt that he couldn't risk anything. It finally understood that the one who can make the final decision in this family is the mistress. The rest is nothing. Humph, Li Biwu dropped Daodu, then took off his shoes and climbed onto the sofa. Li Nanfei glanced at Xiao Wu who was about to step on him and spanked her on the butt. Li Biwu turned his head and looked at Sangguo with his dark eyes without blinking. He didn't understand why Sangguo Sen wanted to spank him. "Go to the back." Li Nanfei pointed at his back. "Okay." Under Li Nanfei's instruction, Li Biwu lay on Li Nanfei's back and rolled over. Li Nanfei. Oops. Clumsy Xiao Wu kicked Murong Shui with 1 kick. "I'm sorry." When Li Biwu saw this, his face turned pale with fright. He quickly got up and touched the place where Mama was kicked and said, "Hoo hoo." Although Xiao Wu is clumsy at this moment, she is still very cute when she blows and rubs her warm heart. "It doesn't hurt, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt." While Li Biwu was rubbing it gently, she looked at Murong Shui cautiously and said, "Mom." Huh, Murong Shui decided not to be familiar with this stupid girl. Is it vain? Murong Shui couldn't help but laugh. What? Are you trying to please me? He, Li Biwu shook his head and said, I see mom is very tired, so Xiao Wu came here to give you some massage. Laugh. Hearing this, Li Zifeng and Li Nanfei both sneered. Who would believe your reason? Even though Murong Shui knew it was a lie, Xiao Wu sat beside her and massaged her in a serious manner, feeling quite moved. Not bad, not bad. This massage technique is not bad. Murong Shui pointed to her shoulders and said, I'll give mom some massage here too. Okay, Li Biwu massaged Murong Shui obediently. Although my little hands don't have much strength, it's still quite comfortable to press. You know, when Li Biwu usually massages Li Chen, it lasts for 3 minutes. After pressing it for a while, I felt either tired or sleepy. This must be the longest massage I've ever had. My hands were sore, but I didn't make a sound. Murong Shui saw it. Aren't you tired? Li Nanfei asked. Not tired, Li Biwu snorted arrogantly and didn't want to deal with Sangguo. Okay, sit down and watch TV. Murong Shui pulled Li Biwu. Unfortunately, the little girl is very stubborn. He. Li Nanfei couldn't help but laugh when he saw this. Xiao Wu, if I were you, I wouldn't watch it. Hearing this, Li Biwu's little mouth pouted. Sit down and mom will watch you for another 20 minutes, only this time Murong Shui was helpless. Li Biwu looked overjoyed when he heard this, and smacked Murong Shui's cheek quickly, and then squeezed it more vigorously. If you can watch cartoons, then Li Biwu's goal will naturally be achieved. However, this time she was very smart and continued to press it perfunctorily. After wiping the last bit, Li Chen washed his hands and came out. He caught a glimpse of the scene of a loving mother and a filial son, and was immediately stunned. Xiao Wu. Hold head high. Aren't you tired? Li Chen smiled. This little girl has been giving massages for a while. Li Biwu pouted and said aggrievedly, the silver is under the eaves, so I have to bow my head. Puff. Cough cough cough. Even Murong Shui almost choked to death. This little girl didn't know where she heard some words. Those who don't know think that she, Murong Shui, is hegemonic. Sit down. Murong Shui glared and showed her mother's majesty. Okay, Li Biwu immediately shrank into Murong Shui's arms and began to look at Bal Qiang seriously. Bal Qiang. Shut up, you are not allowed to read what is being said, Li Nanfei lectured fiercely. Oh, Li Biwu pouted and snorted a little aggrievedly. Mom. Li Biwu, can you watch TV well? Papa, sister is fierce. Li Biwu found mom and Sangguo staring at him, so he looked at Li Chen aggrievedly. At this moment, she only has Li Chen who can act like a spoiled child. Then let's ignore sister. Li Chen picked up Li Biwu and put her in his arms. Then he put his chin on Li Biwu's head and said, Xiao Wu, watch carefully, otherwise you will be speechless. By then, the cartoons would no longer exist. Li Biwu, who was about to speak, quickly covered his small mouth with his small hands when he heard this. This time, Li Biwu didn't say a word. Okay, I've finished watching the cartoon. My good boy needs to take a bath. Li Chen smiled and pinched Li Biwu's little fleshy face. He, then I want daddy to wash it for me. Li Biwu put her arms around Li Chen's neck and said coquettishly. Okay, Li Chen stood up and lifted Li Biwu high, making the little girl giggle. Come again, come again. Hey. Li Chen threw Li Biwu up, and Li Biwu screamed. But when Li Chen caught her steadily, Li Biwu laughed again. Li Zifeng and Li Nanfei, who were sitting nearby, both snorted, thinking that they were so young because of their age. Okay, no more playing now, Li Chen said. Li Biwu waited obediently in the bathroom. After Li Chen put the warm water and picked up his clothes, Li Biwu happily played with the water. She only dared to play with water when Li Chen took a bath with her. I usually wouldn't dare to do this, after all, Murong Shui is still very fierce. Ah, Our Xiao is so beautiful. Li Biwu's face turned red when Li Chen praised her, and she felt a little embarrassed. Daddy is handsome too. How handsome is he? So hot and so handsome. Li Biwu gestured seriously, spreading his hands vigorously. Ha ha ha. After Li Chen dressed Li Biwu jumped into Li Chen's arms. Daddy. Xiao Wu loves you. Feeling the hot air blowing by his ears, Li Chen smiled and patted her back and said, what about mom? Love it too. Li Biwu lay on Li Chen's shoulder, clasped his fingers and said, Xiao Wu also loves mom, and she also loves her grandpa. Then, I also love the big pot, the second sister, and the third pot. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 410. Bed. Li Chen and Murong Shui lay down, both a little tired. Daddy, daddy, daddy. If you find it, please reply, oh wow. Xiao Yuking's voice came from the big psychic. Received, over, under Murong Shui's suspicion, Li Chen followed suit. Sister Sui, she also loves. Li Biwu. In the psychic channel, Li Zifeng's violent voice interrupted Li Biwu's snitching. After hearing this, Li Chen and Murong Shui felt warm in their hearts. Li Zifeng has become much quieter now, and of course, has grown a lot. But compared with Li Nanfei and Li Biwu, this big girl seemed a little shy. Li Biwu's voice came over immediately, second sister, you are so shy. Oh wow, wow. Li Biwu, you are looking for a beating. Li Zifeng on the side spoke angrily. Hearing this, Li Chen and Murong Shui looked at each other and smiled. Xiao Wu, tell your second sister that her parents love her too. Over. After Li Chen finished speaking, he gently hugged Murong Shui. This time, there was no movement from Daling Tong for a long time. Just when Murong Shui couldn't bear it anymore, the voice from the Great Spirit came again. I love you all too. This time, it was Li Zifeng's voice. This was also the first time that Li Chen heard Li Zifeng reveal his true feelings. It's a lie that he's unhappy. Even Murong Shui had almost never heard of it, but Xiao Wu accidentally turned it on. Oh. Murong Shui. How else can we say that Xiao Wu is an atmosphere creator and destroyer? Without the follow-up words of wow, 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 Li Chen and Murong Shui would have been immersed in this joy for a long, long time. It's a pity that the mood that was just brewing disappeared in an instant. Li Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry, and put down the psychic. Oh. Just when he and Murong Shui were about to turn off the lights and go to sleep, the psychic rang again, and the voice was a little angry. Murong Shui couldn't help but wanted to get up, but was held down by Li Chen. Don't be excited, this little girl is very persistent, Li Chen said at a loss of whether to laugh or cry. I didn't reply over, this is my fault. Murong Shui. How old are you, why do you act with children? Over. Xiao Wu, Xiao Feng, good night. Daddy, Mommy, good night. Oh wow. After hearing this, Murong Shui got a big head start, and now all she could think about was Xiao Wu's magical oh. Thinking of being dominated by Uwa in the future, she couldn't help but give Li Chen a slap. It's okay, this is good. Li Chen let Murong Shui hammer himself and said softly, children have a natural instinct to play, and we can use toys to let them express themselves more. Now isn't this good? Just spoil her, Murong Shui snorted. Anyway, I will join the team with Xiaofei soon, and you will take care of the two daughters yourself. Don't worry, I have experience, Li Chen smiled. Go to sleep, Murong Shui snorted. You haven't said good night to me yet. Murong Shui came close to Li Chen's ear and said, good night, husband. I want a kiss. Want a hug. Li Chen, you have gone too far. That's okay, it's the same if I hug you. Mirong Shui was a little doubtful about life. Could this man be too clingy? Early morning. Li Chuanlong got up early, but he still couldn't help himself and made breakfast for everyone. After several children got up, they ran over smelling the fragrance. Especially Xiao Wu, there is no need to wake her up. After breakfast, the family returned to the village again. However, there was a banquet tonight, so Li Chen and the others did not plan to stay in the village for a long time. Qingxia Film and Television Company is located in the city. The town is only about 2 hours drive away. When Mirong Shui answered the question, Li Chen had already returned with some express delivery. This is for you. Li Chen placed a large amount of express delivery in front of Mirong Shui. Ordinary express delivery does not arrive so quickly, but since Li Chen has the ability to pay, it is naturally not a big problem. The rest will have to arrive tomorrow, and we can afford to wait. After Mirong Shui opened the express packages one by one, she was a little dumbfounded. All are big-name lipsticks, and they are very hard to find. You bought it secretly. Mirong Shui looked at Li Chen with red eyes, and the thread in her heart was touched by Li Chen from time to time. Well, Xiao Wu broke it for you, you have to use it, right? Li Chen gently hugged Mirong Shui and said, let's put on your makeup first, we'll be fine if we go there later. Okay, Mirong Shui nodded. Xiao Fei. Here we come. Li Nanfei stood in front of Li Chen, a handsome young man. The makeup artist is already here. You can massage it yourself. I have to take care of your sister. Okay, Li Nanfei nodded and rushed out immediately. Li Biwu and Li Zifeng were sitting on the sofa watching TV, with Li Chuanlong and Daodu accompanying them. Daddy, Li Biwu climbed into Li Chen's arms and asked Li Chen to hold him. Are Mom and Sanguo going to be rough? Yes, Li Chen said softly, Dad will come there too. Then, can Xiao go? Li Biwu looked at Li Chen expectantly. Of course Xiao can, Li Chen smiled. Li Biwu glanced at Li Zifeng and Li Chuanlong again, hesitated for a moment and said, then I won't go. Why? Because my second sister and great-grandfather are at home, Xiao has to accompany them, Li Biwu explained very seriously while stuffing food into his mouth. Li Zifeng, who had been pretending to watch TV, was a little happy when she heard this. Li Chuanlong's eyes were full of love. Li Chen turned Li Biwu to face him and said seriously, Xiao, do you know why Dad likes you so much? Why? Because our Xiao is very, very cute and very, very sensible. Li Chen pinched her little face and said, Dad will accompany your mother and third brother to attend a banquet tonight. In 2 days, they will go to film. Do you want to make money? Yes, Li Chen smiled and said, then buy a lot of food for Xiao. When Li Biwu heard that there was food, her eyes smiled into crescents. Okay, Xiao will be good at home. I originally thought that Li Biwu was the most difficult to coax. Unexpectedly, Xiao became more sensible after experiencing these things. After Mirong Shui finished her makeup and changed her clothes, Li Nanfei was also in place. As Mirong Shui walked out in a simple and elegant white dress, Li Chen, Li Zifeng, and Li Biwu were all stunned. Wow, Li Biwu stood up directly, Mom is so pretty. Hearing the praise from her daughter, Mirong Shui felt as sweet as eating honey. What do you think? Then, Mirong Shui looked at Li Chen.